I'm very pleased to present to you Mirror Now, a brand new general news channel that comes to you as a part of the comprehensive news offering of the Times Network. This channel is committed to exposing and eradicating corruption, inefficiency, apathy and injustice that impedes the quality of our lives day in and day out in this country. This channel stands with you, the citizen and the taxpayer, in your battle for quality of life. Life that you are entitled to, life that you work so hard for, life that your children should be assured of. On this channel, we step away from the politics and we look only at the issues with only one goal in mind: to force those in power to wake up and take remedial action. I welcome you to join us on this journey. Let's take a look at the headlines today. In Bangalore, the government apathy is in full display as Varthur Lake spews toxic foam again and onto the street. The BBMP resorts to stopgap measures like spraying water on the foam. The Maharashtra Chief Minister Vimlendu Jha steps in and asks doctors to call off their strike. He assures doctors on mass leave that security will be provided, but doctors say that is not enough. Give it to us in writing.
मेरा बच्चा जिंदा है। राजाबाड़ी वाले लोग बोल रहे हैं बच्चा जिंदा नहीं है। मेरे बच्चे की धड़कन चल रही है।
यहाँ बेंगलोर में आया नली डालने को तो बोलता है बंद है। जाओ बोल तो घर पे जाओ। अभी क्या किधर जाएंगे? कौन सा हॉस्पिटल में नहीं जानेगा?
Meanwhile, patient woes continue as public and private hospitals across the state shut down outpatient departments and treat only serious patients. Mumbai civic body, the BMC, cracks down on cheating contractors, issues show-cause notices to 13 contractors for a scam that runs into over 1,000 crore rupees. You're watching the urban debate here on Mirror Now. Bangalore's Varthur Lake has spewed toxic foam once again. It almost seems like the government just cannot learn its lesson. After we reported how the polluted lakes of Bangalore have been overflowing on Thursday morning, the BBMP officials resorted to stopgap measures. They, in fact, reached the spot and started spraying water to control the frothing. Swecha sent us this report earlier today.
Not long ago, we reported Varthur Lake's frothing and spilling onto the road, causing problem for both commuters and pedestrians. In fact, today again, that is on Thursday morning, the first view that we see here is that the froth spilling onto the road, causing problem. In fact, the stench emanating from this particular lake has made it pretty unbearable for the residents living in the surrounding area. Remember, it was very recently the Chief Secretary to Karnataka, Subhash Kuntiya, made a visit, understanding the situation that the civic bodies have really not done much groundwork here. In fact, he has ordered BWSSB as well as the BDA, who is the custodian of the lake, both the Bellandur and the Varthur Lake, to immediately begin the work. In fact, they have been given a time frame of 1 week and they are going to put up a mesh so that the froth does not spill onto the road. Also, they're going to stop the garbage, illegal garbage dumping, and they're going to see also whether they can stop, in fact, the sewage flowing into this particular lake. In fact, this work is all set to begin in the next 1 week's time. What we also remember is that the BDA, in fact, have already flouted tenders, and so far 3 participants have come forward. They are set to begin with both the long-term and short-term measures which the expert committee had come up with. In fact, the long-term measure being the installation of STPs and the short-term measure being the installation of aerators in both the lakes. In Bengaluru, Sridhar for Mirror Now.
It is not desirable. There must be something going on somewhere. Somebody is just disposing all chemical items, etc. That is how it is happening. And you know, BBMP and all these people are there. Nobody is taking care.
We are getting a lot of smell, you know, so we are running the business here, like furniture business. Customers not coming the inside because of smell, and evening time there are a lot of mosquitoes, you know, so people are getting affected in that. So we have one request for the government. So government should put interest and take some decision, so it will good for the people.
Well, this is something that happened for the first time in April 2015. The lake then frothed one more time in June 2016 and now in 2017. So this is not a new problem. Also, Varthur Lake is at the end of a trail of lakes where the water finally finds its way into Varthur Lake. So if Bengaluru Lake is frothing, over a period of time, Varthur Lake would have also begun frothing. And remember, Bengaluru Lake has been frothing for a very, very long time. Somehow, the state government in Karnataka has not managed to get its act together. Now, the reason why I'm saying the state government is because Varthur Lake is actually the responsibility of different agencies. The BBMP, which is the Bangalore Municipal Corporation, the BDA, which is the Bangalore Development Authority, the BWSSB, which is the Bangalore Sewage and Water Supply Authority, and the LDA, which is the Lake Development Authority. Now, they're all pinning the blame on each other. They have one thing in common. They are all answerable to the state government. So, we would like an answer from the state government as well. Joining us on the show this evening, Tanveer Ahmed, spokesperson of the JDS, Sridhar Pabbishetty, CEO of Namma Bengaluru Foundation. Stalin Dayanand is an environmentalist who joins me in Mumbai, I beg your pardon. Vimlendu Jha, environmentalist and founder of Swecha, joining us in Delhi. Ramaprasad V, co-founder and convener of Friends of Lakes in Bangalore, and N.A. Harris is the spokesperson of the Congress party who represents the government of the day. I'm going to start with Vimlendu Jha. Vimlendu, unfortunately, our governments are not able to learn their lessons. And the last time we did a show about the pollution in the lake in Bengaluru, we had this scientist from ISC tell us very, very clearly that it's not just about froth and smell and mosquitoes, it's poisoning the groundwater. So anybody who lives around these lakes right now, who's using a borewell, is drinking poison. And that is a message we need to drive home, because that is where the accountability will come for the state government.
Absolutely right. As in, if you know, for the last several years, or at least the last 2 years, there's been so much of attention on the lakes of Bangalore. We've actually had lakes on fire, the frothing, fuming lakes all around. And we're actually talking about a state, and we're talking about a city which is completely under water crisis. We're actually talking about Bangalore, which doesn't have water anymore. Almost 160 talukas of Karnataka have been announced drought prone. The water table in Bangalore has actually gone down to 800 meters. So we're talking about a crisis that already exists, and the only solution primarily is to look at these lakes. Only 17 of them left out of 200 that Bangalore initially had, and there's nothing that is actually happening. So it's a shame that our government waits for our lakes to froth and foam and burn, and waits for citizens. It's actually testing the patience of the citizens and throwing them to public health emergency, because we're talking about people. And right now, if you look at action is not to really put a mesh and guard the toxic froth foam coming on the streets. You have to fix the problem, and the problem is known. The source of pollution is known. There are several industries and settlements that actually put untreated water into these lakes that are the primary source of water, source of water in terms of surface water, and also water recharge of the entire Bangalore that happens. Most of the bore wells that have actually been tested in and around Bangalore, their water is not fit for drinking, primarily because of these toxic lakes that we actually find. And where's the political class?
And what is not fit for drinking? Are we talking about carcinogenics? When you say not fit for drinking, how bad is it? So I know for a fact that because water supply is so erratic in Bangalore, a lot of people use groundwater, a lot of people have bore wells. How dangerous is it if they live near a lake?
It's very, very dangerous, because if you look at all the study that has been done, there are several studies conducted by several cancer research institutions, and they say, and in fact, interestingly, to solve the water crisis, what the government of Karnataka and the administration of Bangalore is doing is actually digging bore wells, which is only going to create further water crisis, and forcing people to really drink that water, which is toxic, is carcinogenic, has toxins in a particular way. We also need to understand that when you contaminate groundwater, it's an irreversible change. You cannot fix it. perhaps if there is a political will and a robust governance in Bangalore, perhaps the lakes might be fixed at some point because we know the source. But in this process of contaminating the groundwater, you're doing it forever. Groundwater table will be contaminated forever. It's an irreversible damage that we're creating. And, so there are several studies. Indian Institute of Science has also said that by 2025,
let me bring in a few more voices. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
In Bangalore.
Right, let me bring in a few more voices. And just for our viewers' benefit, everyone who uses a borewell in Bangalore, it makes sense for you to get your water tested, because when Vimlendu is saying carcinogenic, it basically means chemicals that cause cancer. And so that is not something you want to take lightly. It is something you want to get tested right away. And if the water coming out of your borewell is not drinkable, please do not drink it. Get it tested. And it is almost a given and a guarantee that if you live around any of these lakes, Bengaluru Lake, Varthur Lake, then the water is not drinkable anyway. You don't even have to get it tested. We know that for sure. I want to bring in Ramaprasad V, co-founder and convener of Friends of Lakes. This has been such a long battle with so few results. And Ramaprasad, the thing that broke my heart as a citizen of Bangalore today was to watch the government today pour water cannons of fresh water into polluted water to band-aid a problem that they have not been able to solve.
The few things I want to make this thing is that it is not only that the water around the lake are becoming carcinogenic. It is not just around the lake. This has been extending practically to more than 2 kilometers radius of that one. One of the requests that right from beginning itself I'm going to make with the government is, please test those bore wells and get them to drink only when if it is safe to drink. Or else, and one more thing, from these bore wells, the water is being supplied practically to 8 to 10 kilometers from there. That means it is not just around the lake. Please, 10 kilometers around that area, everybody is getting contaminated water. It is not going to be, and this is going to become a big health crisis, because it is the first thing that's get affected by this one is the kidneys. So you are seeing suddenly there's a huge rush and there's a huge amount of people, dialysis units are getting opened up, especially in areas like Bengaluru, Varthur, and even in Pinia, which is again has been happening right from 1970s onwards when the industrial things and all happened over there. So what I'm bringing to one of the things is that it is now slowly that the first thing that gets affected in this whole thing is the kidney. So because the kidney which has to remove all this heavy metals and other things that are in the lakes. And now to see that, one of this thing is to just reduce the foam. They are trying to pour water, which is again good water, which maybe they have taken from nearby the lake. So I will not tell you that it is fresh water or it is good water. So one thing is because that is also going to be as contaminated as this thing. This is one thing that they have to understand. Yes, the water is, especially Varthur, we have at least have the results of tested more than 20 to 30 bore wells. They all were very highly contaminated, and it is a very, very precarious condition that is happening now.
Let me bring in N.A. Harris, who represents the Congress party that is currently in power in the state of Karnataka. Mr. Harris, thank you for joining us. The BDA, the BBMP, the BWSSB and the Lake Development Authority are all responsible for this lake. None of them will take responsibility, but they are all answerable to the state government. What is the state government's answer to citizens who are drinking cancer-causing water right now? What are you doing, and why is it taking so long?
Madam, now, see, this is not a problem which has just started now. This is a problem which has been 25, 30 years back. What we are doing today should have been done, which was not done. So it has accumulated and it has reached to its heights today. So now this government, this government already doing a lot of work on that, even to aerate the water, the lakes, then also all the STPs which have to be now in, whatever the sanitary waters of Bangalore city is being left to the lake.
Why?
Even there is an order from Supreme Court which does not permit that. But then because the STPs, because the STPs are not of full capacity and the growth of Bangalore city is
STP that you have leading to Varthur Lake,
because of that,
the STP is dysfunctional. The STP leading to Varthur Lake is dysfunctional, which is why there is sewage going into that lake right now. And that is the responsibility of the BWSSB, the sewage management of the city.
I would like to make a, it is not that it is, No, it is not that it is not, it is functioning, but the capacity required is not there. Now this government has called tender and all the projects are through. It may take another 2 more years for the entire, actual whatever capacity Bangalore is creating this sanitary water will go through the STPs and treated water will get into lakes. That will take more than another 2 more years. So till then, I think now we have already called the Pollution Control Board of Karnataka has already called for some tenders.
No, let me tell you what has happened over the last 2 years. Let me tell you what has happened over the last 2 years. And I'll bring in.
I'll bring in something to me. When you are asked
how many permissions for buildings has your government handed out around Varthur Lake in the last 2 years? Tell me. How many permissions for new buildings, for new residential buildings has the government handed out around Varthur Lake in the last 1 year?
No, look, I don't give plan sanction for buildings. I don't know about that. You are talking about Varthur Lake's water issue. I am very genuinely telling you what is the reason. Now, I am not telling, okay, we have done everything. I am telling the things are under process. But for this should have happened actually 15, 20, 25 years back. Now things are happening. Actually, I am a subcommittee for lake encroachment chairman, where I have only made a study on all the STPs around Bangalore city. And I am very sure that in another 2 years we will have all these problems resolved.
Dear sir, you need to understand that you are sitting on a crisis.
How many people
you are sitting on a crisis, you are sitting on a serious crisis and you are asking for 2 years. You should be working at, you should be working at 2 days
is easy, brother.
or 2 months,
work is difficult.
not 2 years. I can't understand, how can you even think of talking of 2 years? There is a serious crisis which is threatening human life
you have
and
to understand
environment.
Work is going. It is not as easy as talking.
It is easy.
Work is
it is easy.
now.
You have not displayed
Work
the will
is
to do
going on.
it.
You
please tell us what has been done to stop this problem. You tell us your samples were collected somewhere in May. Have the results been put out in public?
That is what I am telling. What I am told, you are
How
not
much
able
time
to
does
listen.
it take to analyze
And what
water?
I have told again, you want to repeat.
So tell us what was the analysis reports.
What are you trying to say?
I am trying to tell you that your tendering process is not the solution. Your tendering process is not the solution.
Stalin, what is the solution?
You need to create sumps right now. You need to create sumps and stop the sewage from going into the water. You need to create sumps. Take away that sewage, take it to a different location, treat it and then release it in the lake. But what you are trying to do is that you will issue a tender, 2 years later your STPs will work, till then this problem should continue. You are saying that in your groundwater has reached 800 feet and at 800 feet, if you are going to get contaminated water, what are we heading to? You have not understood the gravity of the situation, dear sir. You need to wake up and do something immediately, which is first thing to do is you know the pollutants. Has the Pollution Control Board told you what are the pollutants? Have you identified from where is it coming? You are talking of tendering and STP, so you are assuming that it is the STP. On what is the scientific basis for saying that? Which chemical engineer has told you this? Is there any data to be shared? In fact, I am surprised that the last 2 years, no data is coming out.
I'll send all the address of the engineers who have told to you. You go and talk to them.
Why should I?
There's no need to be sarcastic. There's no need.
I can also ask one question to you.
You can't
Please
share
listen,
the
understand.
data.
I am also a citizen of Bangalore city. I know what is the problem.
So
if you should listen. Who gave you this? Who told you that means that is not correct? See,
you
first
know
of all,
you're
you have little
just not a
patience.
citizen.
You admit that there
Otherwise
is a
you talk
crisis.
what you want to talk.
Admit that there is a crisis with the environment. The water is being contaminated. There is a serious issue of pollution, and
I am not
you
admitted there
expect
is
the
a
people
crisis.
to
I
believe
said
that
it
2
should
years
have
later
happened
everything will
long
be
back.
okay.
It has not happened.
Let's take this one by one.
And
Mr.
one
N.A.
minute,
Harris,
one
do you
minute,
agree
you
that
should
the
understand.
groundwater is contaminated around the lake? Do you agree that the groundwater is contaminated around the lake? Have you found that to be true?
The lake, madam, the lake water cannot be used by people. It is not
borewell water, sir. Borewell water. Mr. Harris, is the borewell water in the vicinity of the lake contaminated? That's my question.
Around the lake. No, 1 minute. When the water of the lake is like that, what water will you get in borewell then?
Have you told the people? Have you told the people living around Varthur Lake not to use? Has the government informed the people not to use the borewell water? Have you informed people
around? See, there is lot of NGOs.
No, have you done it?
All
Has the government of Karnataka done it?
We are all trying our best to do whatever we can.
No.
They all are aware of it.
Have you done it? Have you done it? Has the government of Karnataka or the BDA or the BBMP sent out a clear message to the people living around these lakes saying, Nimma Neeru is
Already
contaminated.
The Pollution Control Board.
You cannot drink it. Have you told people, do not drink the water coming out of your borewell?
ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೀರು ಕಂಟಾಮಿನೇಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ.
ನೀವ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಾ ಸರ್?
ಅಲ್ಲಿರೋರಿಗೆ ಅಕ್ಕಪಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋರಿಗೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ
ಯಾರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ? ಗವರ್ನಮೆಂಟ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಾ ಸರ್? Has the government made an official statement? ನೀವು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಾ ಸರ್?
ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಪೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಅದು ನೀರು ಕುಡಿಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
Tanveer Ahmed, is that true?
ಪೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಆ ನೀರನ್ನ ಕ್ಲೀನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಟೆಂಡರ್ ಕರೆದು ರೆಡಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ.
Okay, so no, one second. Okay, Tanveer Ahmed, is that true? Has the Pollution Control Board of Karnataka informed and warned people that they are drinking water from their borewells that could cause cancer?
Mr. Harris is an honorable MLA from our city. I think Mr. Harris, out of excitement, has said this. No authority has issued any information to anybody in that area that this water is not forget about for drinking. It can't be used even to wash your vessels, because if at all you're washing your vessels also is very bad. No information as such has gone to anybody from either from BDA, Pollution Control Board, BWSSB, nobody. Actually, Mr. Harris, I think out of excitement he has said a statement, whatever he has to say. But Mr. Harris, I was just going through an information which was given to your lake control body from Indian Institute of Science.
My brother, there is no
excitement in
one second, Mr. Harris. I am telling you, you should talk to Pollution Control Board.
No, who has given the information? Have you released it in any television ad? Have you given it in any newspaper? Have you said this information in any radio?
No. See,
absolutely no. And why how can you come here on national television and say that you have released the information to everybody?
I invite right now, let me put my phone number, Tanveer Ahmed, let me put the phone number at the bottom of the screen and invite people from Bangalore to call us if you have received any information at all saying that the water is unsafe from the government, not from NGOs, but from the government, because it's the government's responsibility to tell you. And remember, NGOs will have access to people who use WhatsApp and people who use Twitter and people who use Facebook. What about those who are not on
NGOs are working around that place. NGOs are working around, not these people.
What are you doing? You are the government.
Around that place.
Have you stopped?
What are you doing? It is your responsibility. These people are your responsibility. Sridhar Pabbishetty, has the government put out any sort of warning?
No, look. When I tell you what the government is doing, you are not ready to listen to that.
Tendering is
you are not ready to listen what the government is doing. And then you go to some other subject.
Tendering, the government has absolutely done nothing.
What is that you are trying? Tell me that again. What is that you want to try? Show in the TV channel now.
Mr. N.A. Harris, you tell me. You're asking me what I'm trying.
This is not fair.
No, okay, fine.
This is not
Let me ask you the questions again. Let me ask you the questions again, and I'll ask you the questions slowly. What is the government doing about Varthur Lake? We will all listen to you, sir. What is the government doing about Varthur Lake? What have you achieved so far from the time the lake first frothed? One second, let me finish my question at least. The first frothing happened April 2015. Today, we are in March 2017. What has the government achieved? I don't want to know what you are going to do in the next 2 years. What have you achieved so far? Simple question. Answer my question, sir.
Have you finished?
I finished. Please go ahead. And we'll all listen. Nobody will interrupt.
Your question, madam.
Nobody will interrupt.
See, I am very honestly talking to you. I am a Bangalore citizen. I am the representative of people here. I am the chairman for STP subcommittee of Lake Encroachment Committee. I have gone around all the STPs in Bangalore city, made a study, given a report. This, I am very honestly telling, this whatever now the government is doing should have happened 20 years back. That is the sad part of the whole story. Now that is all happening. All the STPs around Bangalore city is not having full capacity to take all the sanitary water coming in there to be treated and then left to lakes. Now what is happening is, whatever capacity they take the water in, and again they leave it back to the lake, where again that same old sanitary water is there. That is the problem, main problem. And now the government, along with the Karnataka Pollution Control Board, has already called for tenders to get the water in the lake to be aerated, that is fresh air is being pumped into the lake so that the quality of that whatever is there in that water will slowly reduce. And already now there are some international companies which are also come forward. There's some tender being called. Government is very seriously looking into it. And this problem is not created in a short period. You have to understand that this is a problem created for past 40-50 years. Now, I'm very honestly telling you, this government has gone all out and trying to do their best to see that the water could be clean, clear. And it is not, I'm just not trying to talk to you just like for the government alone. I am also a responsible citizen. I know the issues. People around there are my friends, my relatives staying there. They're all facing this problem. A message has already gone that this water, and there's a lot of NGOs working around. So they are also aware that this water cannot be used by people. And not only that, even that road sometimes is difficult to be used because of the form. And now whatever you are showing on the TVs, they are spraying the water to control that. There's nothing else.
So this is
That's
the answer you have given us, which we did not interrupt you on, Mr. N.A. Harris. You have said STPs have no capacity for the sewage that is coming into it. My question was, what has the government done in the last 2 years since the first frothing of Varthur Lake till today? You said fundamentally the government...
tenders, I told you. Now another 2 years, the full STPs will work in full capacity.
Yes, I've heard what you said.
The government has done,
the government has called for tenders. You said international companies are coming forward. There are tenders being put out. The government is seriously looking at those tenders. And the government is doing their best with the water. These are the 3 points that you have said. Sridhar Pabbishetty, I have two concerns here. One is, call for tenders does not take 2 years. And if we had called for tenders earlier, we might have gotten something done by now.
No,
one second, Mr. Harris, we heard you out. My second point is, Sridhar Pabbishetty, it is the government's responsibility to tell people that the water is unsafe, and it is the government's responsibility then to compensate for the fact...
You are telling something wrong, which I need to correct you.
Okay, go ahead.
It is not that 2 years we have not called tender. Tenders have called for.
When?
Work is in progress. That is what I meant.
No, what is that work?
Tenders are called and work is in progress. That is what I meant. And you have not heard me properly.
Mr. Harris, give me the timeline of the tenders. When were the tenders put out? When did you receive the tenders? When did you close it? When did the work begin? And what is the work?
I told you another. The work is all in full swing.
What work, sir?
Work is all in full swing. Work is in progress. I don't have the details of exact when the work is called, when it will complete. But under 2 years, all the STPs will be ready in full strength to take the entire...
What happens if your government does not win the election next year?
Work is in progress. Please underline that. Work is in progress. It is tendered. Any government come, they have to do it. Work is in progress. There is no need of any government. This government have initiated everything to be done. 2 years, it will be all ready.
Can you tell us the nature of the solution? What is this work that is in progress?
No, see, these treatment plants are all being, that's the tender call, and STP plants are being, already the work is going on. Plant erection is going, construction is happening. It's all the process is through. If you want, please come, I can take you around to all the STPs and show you that.
Right, I'll take you up on that offer. I will visit, I'll take you up on that offer. Sridhar Pabbishetty, the work on the STPs is ongoing. It will take 2 years. What happens in the meantime?
Yeah, so I think Mr. Harris is only looking at one part of the solution. And I would urge Mr. Harris to look at the Vimlendu and Varthur Lake Rejuvenation Committee report, where there are a set of sequential actions that has to be taken on. It's not just STPs. See, what is happening is that the garbage dumping and sewage being let in are two aspects of the problem that has to be solved. Sewage being let in also can be reduced by looking at all the non-compliant apartments that are in the surrounding. No concrete action has happened around that. Second thing, the construction debris as well as garbage from BBMP are being dumped rampantly and continuously in the surrounding of Vimlendu and Varthur lakes. There have been series of complaints that has been sent to BBMP. No action has been taken on the perpetrators of people who are dumping. Now only trenches have been dug, but that is not a good enough solution. There is still fires that you keep seeing. You talk to anybody, and I think you should open up the phone line and shortly people should be calling, of saying where are the fires, and there's fire visible also on your screen that happened on one Thursday evening. So there is a concerted effort that is required, and there is only disjointed actions that are happening. Only one item of a range of short-term and long-term measures have been happening, that is the aerator and deweeding. Other than that, making sure that encroachments are removed, the land that is meant for...
Sridhar, you're right about that, and we'll forward a copy of the report to Mr. Harris as well. But I have, Mr. Harris, somebody on the phone line who would like to speak with you. This is a resident of Bangalore who's picked up the phone and called us. Ajos is on the phone line. He tells us he lives near Varthur. Ajos, go ahead. You can speak directly with Mr. Harris. He can hear you. Go ahead. Ajos, can you hear me?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Mr. Harris?
Hello.
Yes, he can hear you. Go ahead. Go ahead. There's a little bit of a delay, but he can hear you.
Yeah, tell me.
Okay. Basically, I don't want to go around discussing the same thing that you all have been talking about, but just to make a few things clear, the BBMP, BWSSB, and the political party Congress have to stop working as independent money-making business and start thinking about the people who actually live in Bangalore. Because as long as you can afford bottled water that comes to your doorstep, you're not really going to be worried about people who live around the lakes, whether it be 1 kilometer, 500 meters, or 5 kilometers. If they are talking about all these tenders and stuff, I believe they should have picked up lessons from what happened in Varthur Lake a few years ago. What did they do? It comes on the news media every time there is foaming that happens in the Bangalore Lake. Everybody shouts about it. Whichever government, doesn't matter, Congress, BJP, they all defend themselves, which they have to do. They all defend themselves because nobody is willing to put in the work, because they're all drinking bottled water. Because this is not a problem. This is a problem with encroachment, like Mr. Sridhar said. You have to stop, the lake limits has to be properly governed by the government. And because the BBMP and the BDA just give you tenders to encroach land, build apartments, do whatever they feel like.
I have a quick question for you. You said you live around the lake. Have you been informed that your borewell water is not fit for drinking, and has that information come to you from the government?
No, ma'am. It was really funny when Mr. N.A. had said that the pollution board had sent out a notice or whatever, but we haven't heard anything from anybody, not the news media, not the newspaper, not the radio station, not people on ground,
Mr. Harris, do you want to respond to him directly, please?
No, I don't think I can respond. I have one request to make. Now, see, all of you are discussing on a subject. I have a request that you fix a date. We will visit the STPs around Bangalore, around Vimlendu Lake, around Chalgatta. I will come along with you. I will show you what is happening there. And then you can telecast and broadcast that to every people, whoever are required. See, I cannot go on with an argument, and I cannot see now Shetty has told something, okay, that is fine, that we will look into that. The encroachment, actually Lake Encroachment Committee is making a study on all the lake encroachment in Bangalore. So that is a different subject. Now whatever the water issue, what you find in Vimlendu Lake is a different issue. And the STP plants, what I am talking to you, is another subject which I have made a thorough study and I am talking to you about it. Now if one gentleman has not got an information about that water they cannot use, or he doesn't have a borewell at his home, he is getting Kaveri water through pipeline which is not from this lake, I would not have to comment on that. My request is, please fix a time, we will go, you can also come and you can call all the people, the delegates who are sitting on that channel, and let's go and have a look and see what the government is doing. That will only, because I alone talking to 5 people and trying to do what? Because none of you are agreeing to what I am going to tell. I am not going to agree to what you are telling. It will have no answer. So let us go there, practically see it, and then believe, then tell. And I am also with you as far as the government is concerned. We will put more pressure if work has to happen. I have already given in my report this work should be done 24/7. I have given a report and I have given a request
Mr. Harris, I'll take you up on that offer. I'll take you up on that offer. I will personally organize a meeting. I will personally organize a meeting of the members of this panel to make a visit to Varthur and Vimlendu Lakes with you in attendance and with cameras in attendance, so that we can understand the work that's happening on the ground.
Come along with us.
Yes. Rajan is on the phone line. I will come along. I guarantee you I will come along. Rajan is on the phone line from Bangalore. I want to take as many calls as I can. Rajan, we can hear you. Go ahead. You're on the show.
Okay, well, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Okay, so what I would say in this issue, the government is really sleeping, because we know that we are facing this problem since from 2 years, and no one is talking about resolving the issues. And I would see that Harris sir is getting angry, and other people, you know, Tanveer, they all are fighting for it. I really understand that. But what I would request them, at least to go and stay near Salakatta, or stay near Belundur, or stay near Varthur Lake for 1 week. Then you would know the pain, what people are going through. What last request, what I'm actually trying to request everyone, I'm actually giving you a personal, you know, commitment. If we are ready to come and fight for it. We are ready to work for it. In case if you have any issues that people are not supporting, we have a lot of NGOs who are also supporting that issue. Mr. Shetty is also there, the activist. Even if you want, even we will also come with many people, whatever work that we want to do, definitely we'll spend some time in resolving this issue, because there are so many people who are suffering with a lot of sickness with these issues. I would request the government, please at least wake up now. At least do something.
I really appreciate whatever you are telling, sir. We 100% need your support. We need your voice also, not that just a support, we need your voice also. And this issue is been there for quite some time, which you and I know personally, because I am not too far away from the Chalgatta Lake. I am also very near to Chalgatta Lake. So we know the entire issues. And now I am very honestly telling, because see, a lot of people are watching this all over the country, and we are just simply making an argument which is of no use. Please stop this here. You fix a time. Let us go there. I'll take you along. We will see what my government is doing.
I accept your invitation to visit the lakes, but I don't understand why you're saying this conversation is of no use. I don't think that is fair, Mr. Harris. Stalin?
No, not like that. I'm telling you.
Mr. Harris, I have a question for you. You said that
what I meant is, see, we are just throwing this side, that side is of no use.
One second, sir.
This has to happen.
Hear out the rest of my panelists, please.
I'm not telling everything is perfect. Nothing.
No.
I'm just telling.
But I don't think it's fair to say that nobody should be asking questions at this point, and this conversation is of no use, or this debate is of no use. I think the more we talk about it, at least we'll be closer to finding solutions. The fact that we had this conversation at all, Mr. Harris, the fact that you agreed to be part of this show has taken us one step closer to a solution.
I didn't mean No, I don't mean what exactly you said. I meant we were making an argument. Instead of that, we can go there, see it. The panelists are all good people who know, who have some knowledge about all this, can give little more inputs to the government to do better.
Mr. Harris, I have a question for you. Two things. First, two questions for you. One is that, have you stopped constructions, or have you stopped anything which will reduce the load which is going into the lake? In the sense, if you stop the new constructions, don't give permissions, you are at least arresting the problem where it is not allowing it to increase. Secondly, the water of this lake, from what I understand, is used for agriculture also. Almost 1,500 acres of agricultural land is using this water.
Vegetables, yes.
So the vegetables and the food that is being grown, what are we doing? Are we poisoning our own people? This tendering can wait, it can happen. But you need to find out what is the best way to stop it at the source immediately. Or at least inform the people, or stop the agriculture which is happening around that area. Say you don't use this water.
Mr. Stalin. Now they are not using this water for farming. It is not fit for using for farming also.
Do they know, sir?
This water is not fit to be used for farming.
Has this been told to the farmers?
Even if somebody has not told, I am telling you it is not fit for using for farming.
So you should inform this to the farmers. What about the people who are eating those vegetables? You understand it, it's very good, but what about the effects on the people who don't know what they're doing? See, your first job, I can only suggest, you are in power there, I can only suggest two things you need to do is to spread the awareness that this water is no longer good for potable purposes.
The people around it know that, and they are very much familiar.
Secondly, try and stop the constructions or permissions which you are giving for all kinds of activities which are going to come up now. You should say no more constructions till this is not being resolved. You will not increase the load of sewage or any other pollutant into these lakes. You don't have water.
I have a question. Let me take this question to Vimlendu Jha. Vimlendu Jha, the NGT, the National Green Tribunal, has been very active when it came to lakes in Bangalore. It created a buffer zone that caused a lot of developers to have to change their plans, break down buildings and actually create a buffer zone around all the lakes. Where is the NGT when the lakes are foaming, when the lakes are dying, when the people are being poisoned? Why isn't the NGT going more? Sridhar, I can see your hand up. I'm just going to wait. I'm just going to wait for let Vimlendu answer this question and I'll come to you, Sridhar. Where is the NGT?
Faye, we need to understand that fixing our lakes is not the responsibility of the judiciary. We've become very used to this entire thing where the judges have to intervene and fix our environment. It's the responsibility of the government, of Mr. Harris and many other people who don't even understand the urgency of the situation. We're not discussing a poisoned swimming pool. We're not discussing the construction of a new villa or something. We're talking about a city that almost has, 8.5 million people. We're talking about a city that perhaps are one of the most reputed organizations, institutions of our country has said that people will not be able to live here. So for us to really, it's not NGT's responsibility, but still to answer that question, NGT just last week has actually asked the government to file petitions and affidavits about the recent fire at the lakes. So I think NGT is doing what it can, but the real responsibility is of Harris and everyone else. Our political class needs to realize that it cannot be a never-ending process. He needs to first accept that there is a problem, and then this is also not something which is a luxury or a romantic idea of a beautiful lake that we are talking about. It's a public health crisis that we're talking about, and when we elect people like Mr. Harris and many more, it's their responsibility. So he cannot conveniently really, and imagine he himself says that he's the chairperson, and we all know, ask any person from Bangalore and they will tell you that most of the lakes have been encroached. Most of the illegal dumping of garbage is happening in these areas. And if Mr. Congress representative, if Mr. Harris is the person, and officially so, what has he done? I might want to ask Mr. Harris, how many municipalities or how many corporations or how many industries have actually been penalized in last 2-3 years since you have been visibly seeing this impact? So just to blame the citizens, to tell people like us and every other panelist that, well, why are we talking about this? It's work in progress. Sir, this cannot be work in progress. I don't know if you live in Bangalore anymore or not, because you claim to be. If this is the visual and if you are the political representative of that visual of that foaming, burning lake, you should be embarrassed, you should be sorry, you should be apologetic, because you are the chairperson who is responsible for those STPs. You're the chairperson who is responsible for those enclosed burning lakes. So for heaven's sake, please take responsibility.
Any Harris wants to respond. Go ahead.
I want to know where this Jha is from. I want to know, Mr. Jha is from Bangalore or which place?
I'm from Delhi, sir. It doesn't matter.
I'm familiar with him.
Why does...
No, okay,
I'm
hang
from
on.
New Delhi.
Okay, Harris, Vimlendu Jha is a qualified environmentalist. He's a qualified environmentalist.
That's all.
No. Let's not do this. We've already had one conversation on this channel about how people in Bangalore treat other people who are not from Bangalore. Just because Vimlendu Jha lives in Delhi does not, rob him of the right to have an opinion. He is a qualified environmentalist.
Suggestions what we can do.
Okay, first suggestion. No, I will give you a suggestion. Mr. Harris, I will give you a suggestion.
No. I have one small request.
Yes.
No, I have a request. I want to request Jha to come to Bangalore.
I will give you the suggestion.
And advise us how we can faster do this one.
Okay, actually, that's a great idea. Mr. Harris, that's a great idea, because everybody on this panel, one second, everybody on this panel has been chosen very carefully for their qualifications. Let's get suggestions. That's a fantastic idea. We will do a round of suggestions from everybody. Vimlendu Jha, I will start with you. One suggestion that the government can take on board. Mr. Harris is somebody who's working on the lakes. What can he do right away that he can action right now?
First thing that he should do is that in all the Bangalore newspapers, there needs to be a public health advisory issued tomorrow. Right now, Mr. Harris, when you leave this program, I would really request you to call all your officials, call your public relations representatives, and tell them that there needs to be that news out there to tell your cadre to perhaps go around Bangalore city and issue an advisory. That's step number one. Step number two, which is the immediate step, and the long-term step is that we, right now on the screen we're seeing putting water on a frothing, foaming lake. These are very, very temporary, displaced idea of a solution. We know the sources of pollution. We know what are the industries that are actually polluting our lakes. Stop the encroachment. Be really, really stringent about urbanization, sir, because, almost 76% of Bangalore is completely paved. You have lost, not you in the sense right now, of course, unfortunately, you are at the receiving end. Our political class in last 2-3 decades, and not just in Bangalore, in many other parts of the country, have really, really not done justice to our environment and to our people, and they don't really care. So my request is advisory. Second is, you know who pollutes, you know it all. Just put them behind the bars.
Let me get everybody in right now. Let me get everybody in. Ramaprasad V. Ramaprasad, what is your suggestion? And let's do one suggestion each so that everybody has a chance to speak before we run out of time. V. Ramaprasad, one suggestion for the government that they can take on board right now.
One favor with the thing. Two suggestions. One first suggestion that many people even from Varthur before I came here I had spoken to. One of the main thing that they are told is heavy amount of dumping happening over there. So one of the things they are told is proper survey has not yet been done. This is one of the things most of the people around Varthur have been telling. At least let them do a survey of it and put the stones that this is where the lake ends and this is the 75 meter or the 30 meter, whatever is the rules. Let there be a proper survey done. Only then you are going to tell where the
Next suggestion, sir.
No survey, big problem with Varthur. Still survey has not yet been fully completed, or survey itself is not there at all.
All right, next suggestion.
Fixed up in a first place.
Next suggestion.
Yeah, second one is that there are many other riparian lakes also which are there on the top, and there can be decentralized also small ones so that the pressure on one particular
the lakes upstream need to be looked at as well.
All the starts coming to either Belandur or Varthur.
Sridhar Pabbishetty, I don't have much time. Just one suggestion, Sridhar, very quickly.
I would request Mr. Harris to look at the Belandur and Varthur Lake Rejuvenation Committee report, put a timeline for each of them and allocate a budget. The 42 crores that they have allocated in the state government budget is paltry sum. That too is for the 10 crores for the 10 lakes. So Belandur and Varthur needs budget reallocation. Right. Belandur and Varthur needs time-bound action plan.
All right. Tanveer Ahmed?
Our Varthur Lake is more than 1,000-year-old. So we need to really feel proud to be Bangalorean and safeguard. The only one important suggestion I would like to tell the government, you have to act with fist of iron against all those chemical companies which are working around. Government not taking stringent action against those who are polluting the lake, this is really going to continue.
I would say you need to arrest the construction industry right now. If you are going to allow fresh constructions and more sewage to come into these areas, that will be counterproductive. Secondly, I feel my intuition tells me that the problem is not exactly at the lake. It's at the end of the canal network. You need to analyze it upstream, at different points upstream and find out where the pollution is happening, and you need to identify the chemicals. It is not only sewage that is causing this foam. It would be wrong to treat it in that way. You need to get proper institutions like NIRI into it and ask them to do this work. And the tendering can happen subsequently. You need to have first aid in place first.
Okay, all right. We've run out of time, and I want to appreciate the fact that N.A. Harris has been very patient and he has heard out all of the suggestions, so we appreciate that. I'm going to do a recap of these suggestions. Okay, very quickly. We don't have much time, but go ahead. Mr. Harris, go ahead. We can hear you.
Yeah, no, my request is now all the panelists and yourself, let's fix a time. Please come down and let's see the Varthur Lake, which is created so much of havoc and problem, and give a proper good suggestion. See, asking questions is an easy job. but trying to really do, please give proper suggestion, which I personally will recommend it to the government.
I will email these suggestions
we get better solution, because there are a lot of people who, see, some people are talking, but there are a lot of people who cannot talk and who cannot respond back. So we really need to do something about it. And Mr. Jha was telling it has to happen fast. So if he has any technique where it can happen fast, if those things can be conveyed to us, we will see how we can do it faster.
All right. So I will, like I said earlier, I will take up your offer, Mr. Harris, of visiting the lake with you and with the rest of the members of this panel. I will try and organize that myself. We would appreciate it if there is a member of the Pollution Control Board who accompanies us on that particular trip. But I'm going to give you a recap of the suggestions that our panelists gave us, which were all excellent suggestions. One second. Suggestion number one, which should cost you very little time, which can be actioned immediately, Mr. Harris, is a public health advisory. A public health advisory can come only from the government. It cannot come from an NGO. It cannot come from any other source. It can only come from the government to tell people in the city that the borewell water that you are drinking is unsafe. So we are no longer talking about, oh ho, what a beautiful lake we have ruined. We are talking about, oh ho. So for the people who are watching right now, stop drinking the borewell water until you can get it tested. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell everybody to switch off the borewell water in Bangalore. The government of Karnataka needs to very quickly put out a serious recommendation telling people not to drink the water coming out of the borewell and telling people not to grow vegetables using the water from these lakes. Stop encroachments, and I will accept here that the BBMP has been almost militant when it has come to clearing out the Rajkalways. We expect you to continue that sort of determination also around these lakes and stop the encroachments completely. Survey the lake, create a map, clean up upstream lakes, and of course implement the lake report with a clear budget and with a timeline, and limit construction in the area. These are great suggestions. I will type them out and send them to you. Mr. Harris, I appreciate the fact that you've listened to all of these suggestions. We will track this issue very closely. We've been tracking the lakes for a while here on this channel, and we would appreciate more representation and participation from the state government. That way we can reach faster solutions and quicker solutions. If you're watching in Bangalore and you want to join us in our campaign to clean up the lakes and to save the people from being poisoned, get in touch. Our email IDs are at the bottom of your screen. Remember, I'm going to say this one more time to the people of Bangalore. It's not about the beautiful lakes that you want to save anymore. It's about the fact that your water is poison. And there is very little we can do to backpedal from where we are unless we work very fast. We have to join hands and work together, NGO, government and citizen. That is the only way it will get done. Thanks for watching.